devices. And we partner with the MedTech Innovator to source and scout companies and select those companies that will enter the MedTech Innovators, the very prestigious MedTech Innovators Device Accelerator Program. So the companies that we select today, the up to 5 companies that we select today will go through this accelerator program, and will come back on October 23rd to Boston to compete for grant funding up to $150,000. So there will be the Children's National 10th Annual Symposium on Pediatric Device Innovation in partnership with AdvaMed at the MedTech conference. So the companies will have a chance to present for a chance to get funding at that event. So with that, again, good luck and congratulations. And I would like to Bentley, hi there, little doggo. So Dr. Bill Bentley is the principal investigator from the University of Maryland site. And Bill, are you online?
I'm here, thank you.
Here.
So I just wanted to add my congratulations. So Bill Bentley, I'm at the University of Maryland. We're just a couple miles away from Colella, and happy to participate. The Fischel Institute is basically an engineering arm that helps contribute in many different ways to this to the NCC PDI, and just want to echo our welcome. And then if you have any concerns or questions as you go down the path that you're headed, please let us know, and we'll happy to get with you and facilitate whatever it is you might be interested in. Thanks again.
Great. Thank you again to our partners, Kalale and Dr. Bentley. We're very excited to come together to bring this event to life and spotlight some of the great pediatric innovation we're seeing. So one more announcement. I know people were coming in during that intro there. So for anyone that was joining us a little bit late, if you could kindly rename yourselves. So your full name and your last name and company, that will help us move everybody into the right rooms when we get to our partnering part of the event. So with that, I'm going to hand everything over to our CEO and co-founder, our CEO and founder, Paul Grand, and he will kick us off. Paul there? Okay, so well, when Paul joins, he can jump on. Oh, there you are.
About that. Yeah, sorry. Hey, everybody. Didn't realize I was muted that whole time. I just gave a great intro. I wish you guys had to hear it. It was tremendous. I guess I'll do it again. And in fact, I'm going to take over the screen sharing as well. Or at least I'd like to take over the screen sharing. Actually, you continue with the screen sharing, Catherine, because my mouse is acting up. I'll let you keep going. Hey, everybody. So hi, Paul Grand here. Very nice to see everybody. I'm the CEO at MedTech Innovator and founder, as Catherine mentioned. We've been doing MedTech Innovator now for 10 years. And for much of that time, we've been working on pediatrics, and very excited to continue, as Catherine mentioned, that partnership today. So thanks, Kalale and Bill and others who've been part of this. So this is our pediatric pitch event. It's the last stop on our road tour this year. If you want to move ahead, I'll tell you a little bit about MedTech Innovator. In the corner, though, you see at MedTech Awards. If you want to tweet today, you can tweet at MedTech Awards. And if you want to post on LinkedIn, you can use the hashtag MedTech Innovator. So MedTech Innovator is an accelerator, but we're a downstream accelerator. We are focused on finding companies that are up and running, that have technologies that in most cases have made it out of the lab already and are ready to go to market. And we want to make sure those technologies actually succeed in reaching patients. So as I said, this is downstream. This is not looking for people with ideas. We're looking for people who have the technology we believe can really make a huge impact. And what you're seeing on the screen there are some of the graduates of MedTech Innovator from several years ago on a stage at the MedTech conference that AdvaMed puts on every year. And behind the graduates, you can see products that were brought to market by their predecessors in MedTech Innovator. And that's the idea here. We want to bring products to market. Some of the partners you'll see along the bottom of the slide, I'll talk about in the next couple of slides. So let's move ahead and let me tell you a little more about some of our history. So we're really excited about our performance. So, MedTech Innovator couldn't do it without all the innovators that we're going to be meeting today. We have over 420 companies that have been through MedTech Innovator. They've gone on to raise over $4.5 billion in funding, which is pretty incredible. But most importantly, they've brought 126 products to the market. And that is what this is all about. We want to see products on the market. So the companies who are presenting today, you'll have a chance to join a peer group if you're accepted into our accelerator. That is the highest performing peer group on our industry. I mean, approximately 1 in 5 of the financings that happened last year in the entire industry happened in our portfolio. So this is a great group to be part of. We hope you'll get a chance to be part of it. So let's move ahead and talk a little more now about what's coming up. So the idea of MedTech Innovator is that we want to see companies succeed. We want to see products on the market. So we provide resources that can do that. Those are access to the world's leading ecosystem. So not just the people who are down the street or around the corner from you who you typically work with, but the world's leading ecosystem for bringing products to market. Everything from product development to the regulatory and reimbursement side of things, payment, making sure that you have business models that actually work. Giving you visibility at events like this one, where many people get a chance to meet your company and see you and what you're up to. And then that community I mentioned before, having an ecosystem of peers who really can help you in bringing your products to market, because ultimately the best people to help you are your peers, people who've been through this and who know what it's like to bring products to market. And mentorship is a big part of this. So you'll have an opportunity to be mentored by many people in our ecosystem, everyone from, as I mentioned before, some of the strategics in our industry to the regulatory and reimbursement professionals that can help you with your clinical path and your value propositions, and many, many, many others as well. So that's what this takes, is to bring together a village, as they say, to raise a company in this particular case. All right, so moving ahead now, I mentioned before that we have all these great partners. The people you see on this slide are sponsors, so they are funding us. But more than that, these are people who are supporting us in this journey to bring products to market. And the key here is that all of the people you see on this slide are people you get a chance to interact with during our program. Many of them are going to be here today in the various breakout rooms. You'll have a chance to meet with some of them. Others you'll have a chance to meet with during our program. So that's part of the key here, is that these people are not just supporting us financially, they're supporting us with their team members, with their advice, with their insights. So hopefully you'll get a chance to meet some of them today in the breakouts. And if not, if you make it into our program, you'll get a chance to. Very importantly, something I'll mention is that the ecosystem we've created is one in which you'll have access to all their contact information. You don't need to exchange business cards in a typical way. We have a bio book that we provide during the event, which we'll share the link here in the chat. And then you can have all the background information and bios for all these people. All right, so based on all of the information that we've received so far about all these companies, we've selected a number of companies today. So we had 135 or 150 companies, I think, apply to be part of the pediatric program this year. We've chosen a number of them. I'm going to tell you about how the judging is going to work for that. So basically, the way this works is each of the judges who you'll be meeting with today are evaluating you. And they're using a form to do that. So for the judges who haven't done this before, you have a form. It's the COBO form. So you have to log into the COBO system to use that. And that plugs into our back end so we can look at the notes later and bring it up on the screen. So for each company that you'll be reviewing, you're going to fill this form out. You start off by clicking the little radio button next to the company name that you're meeting with. Then you tell us if you were aware of the company before MedTech Innovator, yes or no. Then after that, you have a screen. If you scroll down a little bit, then you get to your pitch notes. So your pitch notes in a little box, you basically fill in all the comments and things that you're thinking about while the company is pitching. So you kind of keep that off to the side. You keep all your notes. No one's going to see that but you. And we will send that to you, judges, at the end of the session today. We'll send it to you by email. So when we're discussing the companies, you'll have your notes in front of you. Then the feedback box over there is very important. That's going to be anonymously sent to the company. So that information will be shared by email in a PDF with the companies, but we won't tell the companies who said what. Judges, we encourage you to write something here to help the companies out. Oftentimes we find that people don't give enough information to the people after they pitch, and they clap, and then the companies walk out of the room, and that's where all the true feedback happens. And everybody says, oh, that company, I was really confusing, their business model, I didn't understand it. Their slides, the fonts were so tiny, I couldn't even read them, and the order was terrible, or whatever the things, all the things that we normally hear. Judges, we'd like you to put those in this box. It'll be anonymously sent to the company. Give them the honest feedback that they don't often get. If you think the team is weak and you think somebody else needs to be on the team, put that in that box. If you think great things, constructive criticism, put them in the box too. That will be sent to the company after the event. All right, next in the judging evaluation, again, this is one long form. You scroll down and it's going to ask you, was the company receptive to feedback? So, are they coachable, judges? That just basically means if you're asking questions and the company is pushing back very hard on you, and it's okay, companies, by the way, to push back, but if you feel like the company is just not open at all to any kind of feedback, let us know. Rate the innovation of technology. Is it me too incremental or transformational? Really what we're looking to see there is it is a slight improvement over what's out there, or is it transformational? It's going to make a huge impact on care, or is it me too? Factors in success, you'll see a number of metrics over there. Basically, 1 would be weak, 5 would be strong. We're looking to basically evaluate the companies in a number of areas. You may not feel comfortable evaluating in all of these areas, judges. So you can put a 3 for neutral, which is just fine. If there's an area you don't feel good about evaluating, but overall, we want to know, what do you think in terms of the value to the patient? Is it strong or weak? Technical feasibility, strength of the team. And I mean the overall team, not just the person presenting. So when you look at that team slide, you can evaluate some of the other people on the team or ask about it. Health economics, we want to know, is this company got a strong business model? And likelihood of funding, would you personally write a check? Below that, there's a couple other boxes, 1 for risks. So we want to know, what are some of the major concerns you have about this company? You can just, judges, just put some little highlights in there. You don't have to give us huge details about the risks. Just tell us, little highlights. Oh, regulatory, I think the company's under thinking about their regulatory path. They're overestimating or underestimating the regulatory burden, or they're too optimistic on their regulatory path, for example, or the company's business model is confusing, whatever you might want to say about risks, or they have lots of competitors they didn't identify and don't know about, or whatever the risks are. Execution, that's when we want to know what's good about the company. What are they doing right? So tell us things about, like, love the team, love the, we think the technology is really, really needed, or the technology is really compelling, or, I'm a clinician and I haven't seen things like this, or I use it in my practice every day. Tell us, what's attractive about the company. Again, just highlights. Below that, we have a section on validation. So we want to know, what does the company understand about their stakeholders? Have they been interviewing stakeholders? Have they been running this by other people, or is it literally just they've run it by themselves? So we want to know how well have they validated their assumptions. Below that is a box for suggested resources. This is where, again, you can put some highlights. What are some of the things that a MedTech Innovator program will provide to this company? Meaning, for example, like we offer, as I said, resources and everything from product development to regulatory reimbursement, market access in general, and as well as just general mentorship, understanding, how investors and strategics think and other things. So what are some of the things that this company that you're talking to in a feedback session could use? What are some of the things that you think MedTech Innovator could provide for them? And then lastly, you'll have a couple little things. One that says, if advanced in our diligence process, would you be interested in a follow-up call with this company? It's a little radio button, yes or no. So if you just check yes, that means that if we do advance this company and we're looking for people to meet with them down the road. Would you like to be one of those people? It doesn't mean we're going to force you to talk to the company or set up a meeting. It doesn't mean we're going to tell the company you check that box. It only means internally here, we know that you're somebody who would like to follow up with this company. Lastly, there's a box below that for additional comments, which most people leave blank. And then you'll see a little thing that says validate at the bottom of that. If you want to advance to the next slide, there's a little button that says validate where you can submit the form. That should give you the option to save everything. Also, if you're not ready to save, there's an option that you can check to save the form in your browser. It'll go up in the corner, and then you can come back and you can finish the form later if you haven't finished for a particular company. So that's how this works, judges. And then lastly, let me just mention again that we're going to be doing these in breakout sessions. So every judge is not going to get to see every company. And the thing that's really important here is that we've got an amazing group of companies that are going to be presenting today. And we want to make sure that all of our judges have the opportunity to get to know them a little bit. So what we're going to do is a series of 1-minute pitches. Each judge is only going to get to meet with 5 companies, but we have 15 companies presenting today. So the important thing is that we're going to give everyone a taste of all 15 companies right now in a 1-minute pitch. And then after that, we're going to go into breakouts where each judge is going to meet with 5 of the companies. In most cases, the judges have told us which companies they want to meet with, and we've pre-scheduled them to do so. So with that, if you want to move back up to our 1-minute pitch slides, I will call up the first company, which is going to be Bandolier Biomedical. Ian's going to present, I believe, if Ian's here. And all we want to ask you to do, each company, is make sure that you keep a phone or something in front of you with a timer. We're going to be doing the same to watch the time, but please try and keep to 1 minute. So let's go ahead and put those slides back up if you can, and we'll have Bandolier come up and give us their 1-minute presentation.
Eat your sandwich.
I'm just gonna make one quick
fake?
announcement. Oh, sorry.
Is it
Somebody's
fake?
trying
Seafood?
to mute everybody
real?
here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just one quick housekeeping announcement before we go into that. So I know Paul walked us through the COBO form. If you have any issues, judges, with that, please feel free to reach out to Eve Jimenez. So she's one of the participants here today, and she can help steer you in the right direction for that.
Perfect. Thank you for that announcement, Catherine. Yes, any judges, anyone who's having trouble logging in, any issues, go into the Zoom participants list, find Eve and send her a message, and she will help you get logged in. All right, so with that, we're back to our first slide. Ian's going to be presenting for Bandolier Biomedical. You got 1 minute, and looking forward to hearing the story. Make sure you tell us a little about yourself, Ian, as well, and not just the technology and the opportunity.
Okay, thank you guys for having me. My name is Ian Hodgson. I'm a surgeon in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've taken care of many trauma with kids and adults, and done a lot of bowel anastomosis over my career. And one of the big complications we have is when we take a bowels and we sew it together, there can be up to a double-digit 10% leak rate. And this is just as true in kids as it is in adults. Kids also, a lot of the anastomosis done nowadays are done with surgical staplers, but they don't make staplers small enough for the very tiny premature baby intestines. And when these kids leak, they get sick or they have to live with an ostomy. So my device is designed to be placed at the time of surgery to do a safer anastomosis, so these little kids don't have to have ostomies and don't have to have leaks and fistulas from anastomosis falling apart. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian. Super important need, and very happy to have you presenting today. So thank you for that. All right, next up, we've got Coronova. I know there's a number of members of the Coronova team here, but you'll meet them in the breakouts. For now, it's going to be William presenting.
Hi, yes, I'm William Altman. I'm here at the Texas Medical Center. My background is in business. We're developing a non-blood contacting, minimally invasive pediatric cardiac assist device. The issue is, as you know, many kids have congenital heart defects. To correct those defects requires a series of complex surgeries. And often after those surgeries, the heart needs a temporary mechanical support to support the circulation of the body so the heart can rest. And there are existing devices, but the problem is they're extremely invasive. They require a lot of blood contact, large cannulas connected to the arteries and to the body. And as a result, they have up to 15% rate of stroke in 5 days, limb ischemia, sometimes even limb amputation, hypothermia and bleeding and so forth, and less than half of these patients survive. So we have a device that gently squeezes the heart by around the heart. We don't touch the blood. We can minimally invasively implant this device around the heart itself, pumps a little bit of air in there to gently squeeze the heart and increase output. And so we think it answers a lot of those needs. It eliminates those adverse events. It provides a really life-saving alternative.
Terrific. Thank you very much. It's been great to watch Coronova over the years, and really happy you're here today with your team, William. All right, let's move on then to our next company, Gravitas Medical. Sahil is going to present for us.
Hi, my name is Sahil Sutharia. I'm the CEO at Gravitas Medical, where we are optimizing enteral nutrition. 2% of NG feeding tubes go through the nose and end up in the lungs, which can be fatal if you push feed. In the NICU, up to 50% of tubes are misplaced in a minor way, since you're targeting a stomach the size of a cherry. And that results in feeding into the esophagus unintentionally when you're shooting for the stomach. Gravitas has developed a smart feeding tube that is the only smart feeding tube that'll be on the market that can be built down to 5 French, which is the size needed in the NICU. Once the tube is placed properly, the same sensors will be used to track reflux and gastric emptying automatically in real time throughout the entire length of stay of the patient. And with these features, we plan to reduce cost overall and improve patient health. Thanks, and look forward to chatting with you more.
Thanks, Sahil. That's really, really interesting. I mean, it's we've seen similar technology for years, people trying to make sure they're placing these tubes properly. And we still haven't seen someone really crack this. So I'm really glad you're working on it. So thank you very much. All right, next up we have Light-Handed Enterprises. Is that right? No, is that right? Light-Handed Enterprises?
Innovation Lab.
Sorry, Innovation Lab. Sorry. Innovation Lab, Sharif, you want to tell us about the story?
Hi, I'm Dr. Sharif Taraman. I'm a pediatric neurologist by training. MOVE-D was inspired by one of our patients here at Chalk. His name is Dylan. Dylan has ataxic cerebral palsy, and he really struggled with the braces that were on the market to help with his tremor, which have not really been designed for pediatrics. And so through a collaboration with the University of California, Irvine Bioengine Program and the Innovation Lab here in Southern California, we've created MOVE-D, lovingly named after Dylan. It's a novel, simple, elegant mechanical upper extremity brace that provides localized pressure over an ulnar nerve that limits the tremors. And then it has a customizable dampening hinge that really improved activities of daily living. The beauty of this is that it's a 510(k) exempt Class 1 medical device. We've basically created it and we're ready to start getting it out to market. So we're very pleased to be able to present it today and hopefully get it to the next step. Thank you very much.
Terrific, great story, and looking forward to hearing the details and the breakouts. So thank you very much for that. All right, now Light-Handed Enterprises. So Stephen.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Burns. I've led commercialization of a number of products, including medical diagnostic products. I'm here with Light-Handed Enterprises, and we're presenting a solution for improving diagnosis of ear infection in young children that works in the pediatrician's current workflow. Pediatricians using this tool improve their otitis media with a fusion diagnosis accuracy from less than 50% to around 90%, reducing OME-associated morbidity and improving learning in young children. We have a team of engineers, clinical experts, and commercialization experts who will bring this product to market. Thanks, and we look forward to chatting with you later.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephen. Super important. Really excited to hear the story. All right, let's move on then to Limbix, which is our next company. I know there's a big team here from Limbix, but Katie, tell us the story.
Hi, yes, my name is Katie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm representing Limbix. So we are a Series A startup, and we're making prescription digital therapeutics for adolescent mental health disorders. Our diverse and interdisciplinary team combines expertise in clinical science, product development, and research to create evidence-based digital treatments that can reach teens who need them the most when they need them the most, especially now when mental health outcomes are really poor and very exacerbated by the pandemic. In our pitch sessions today, I'll share more about Limbix and our flagship digital therapeutic SparkRx, which is now available via the FDA's enforcement policy during COVID-19. SparkRx is a smartphone program based on cognitive behavioral therapy that's designed to be an adjunct treatment for adolescents experiencing symptoms of depression.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, mental health has been a huge issue for a long time, and certainly exacerbated in these last several years. So really happy that you've got this technology. Can't wait to hear more about it. All right, next we've got Luminoa. Again, nice sized team here from Luminoa. We've got Neil presenting.
Oh, great to be here. It's an honor to be here with everyone. My name is Neil Piper, founder and CEO of Luminoa. We're based in Charlottesville, Virginia, and we've developed a device that will improve the lives of patients requiring tube feeding through a wearable enteral nutrition system. Luminoa started out of a personal need. In 2019, my 3-year-old son had a rare brain tumor that made it unsafe for him to eat and drink safely by mouth. Biggest challenges we had, he was sitting 8 to 12 hours a day. There was a lot of issues around dislodgement. Fortunately, he's healthy and strong today, and we're developing this portable, intuitive, and connected device that will impact and really transform the lives of millions of patients like Noah while disrupting an $11 billion market.
Thanks, Neil. I'm glad to hear Noah's doing well and that this technology will be available for others. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Let's move on. Next, we have NanoChan and Ben presenting.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ben Holmes, CEO and co-founder of NanoCon, and we are developing an implantable device to regenerate cartilage, specifically focused on something called a focal cartilage lesion. This is the injury and breakdown of the cartilage surface of a knee. This is the type of tissue damage that leads to arthritis and eventually the dreaded knee replacement. So whenever I talk about our solution, which is based on both a bioactive polymer material as well as a 3D printed structure, I talk about the benefits in adult medicine because it is, we believe, much superior to the options. But in pediatrics, there's literally no option. We are coming into a space where there is no FDA-approved option from the adult sports medicine cohort. So we really would be a first-in-class treatment to actually reverse damage to the tissue. And when you think about an adolescent patient, that's just so critical because losing the function of your knee, it can be life-changing. But also, when you're looking at about a 15 to 20-year horizon, there's really the potential for these patients to need a knee replacement many, many decades before that's even appropriate. So we believe that we can reach about 100,000 patients annually in the US just for the pediatric application, and looking forward to telling the judges more later.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. Definitely a huge need for cartilage improvement. So we know that's a huge problem, both in adults and kids. So that's great. Thank you. All right, let's move on then to Neonor. Again, a good sized team here from Neonor. So let's have Caroline tell us the story.
Great, thanks for the opportunity. Feeding is really a recognized indicator of infant maturation, physiological health or illness, and recovery. Many of you may know of infants who have had a long wait for discharge, waiting until they can feed well enough. Worse, had feeding and growth issues after the infant has been discharged. Feeding and growth are the primary tasks for our infants. They latch on, they coordinate sucking, swallowing, and breathing for minutes at a time. It's a recognized brain-driven skill, and yet it's often overlooked because it's managed after other critical issues. Neonor has a unique ability to measure all of the components, sucking, swallowing, and breathing, and has data on over 1,000 patients. We can provide a comparison to the normal growth process and how it changes. Neonor will help move the needle in care, first in critical care, and then later to flag infants who may have longer-term developmental delays so they can get help when their brains are the most plastic. Neonor's simplicity should help all infants, regardless of their social and economic disparities. I'm Caroline Hodemaker, CEO. You can reach me at 609-730-1080. But I really love moving novel, disruptive technology forwards to improve clinical care. And in this situation, I'm partnered with Dr. Medoff Cooper, who is really a leader in her field.
Fantastic, Caroline. Thank you for telling us that story. It's great to hear you got that clinical data already. So looking forward to hearing more. Let's move on next to PediFeed. We've got a couple people here. Sia, you want to tell us the PediFeed story?
Yes, hello. My name is Sia John, and at PediFeed, we're working to improve pediatric assisted feeding. So PediFeed has created a novel feeding tube that's specialized for neonates and infants and reduces tube displacement frequency, has a unique internal retention mechanism and an easy insertion and removal method. Each year in America, there are 117,000 neonates and infants with severe feeding dysfunction who must be fed through gastrostomy tubes or G-tubes. However, current G-tubes experience displacement rates of 22%, leading to complications such as gastric leakage, infection, and hospital readmission. Our solution combats the issue of G-tube displacement with a design that minimizes internal retention failure and required handling force with our novel internal retention, a tighter seal, and an easy insertion mechanism. So PediaFeed is revolutionizing pediatric feeding for happier, healthier lives, and we hope to share more at the pitch event later.
Thank you, Sia. So we can see that feeding is definitely a problem with multiple companies targeting the space. So really happy to have you here. Thank you for working on this. All right, let's move on then to Propella. We've got a couple team members here. John is going to present for Propella. So John, if you're ready. Can't hear you, John. So you're there and unmuted, John. Can you hear us? John? All right, why don't we come back for John and move ahead. So John, when you hear us, we'll come back to Propella. Let's move on ahead to SpineX. So we've got Parag here from SpineX.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Parag Gad. I'm a neuroengineer by training and co-founder and CEO of SpineX. Cerebral palsy is one of the largest sensory motor dysfunctions in children. Symptoms of cerebral palsy include spasticity, increased pain, more importantly, the inability to stand, walk, and run. Current standard of care primarily target maintaining quality of life rather than improvement in function. Introducing SKIP, our first non-invasive spinal nerve modulation device that sends in low-intensity electrical pulses into the spinal cord, allowing children to voluntarily stand, run, and walk. We've so far tested about 25 children and successfully demonstrated improvement in function in all of them with zero adverse events. And we look forward to the breakout sessions later today. Thank you.
Thank you, Parag, and huge problem, and really excited you guys are working on this. All right, let's move on then to Therapy Medical. Alexa.
Hello?
Hello, we hear you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alexa Jones, and I'm the CEO and founder of Therapy Medical, and we're on a mission to transform the first week of life for moms and babies. Over 60% of all babies in the world will experience some form of infant jaundice in their early days. And jaundice is treated with phototherapy, which is the exposure of blue light to the skin, but it has not been innovated on in decades. These devices separate mom and baby, and they make feeding and any sort of bonding difficult, if not impossible, during those crucial first days of life. And phototherapy is also one of the main reasons why otherwise healthy babies are kept in the hospital and have elongated hospital stays. So we worked with over 300 nurses to develop the perfect modern treatment for infant jaundice, which is called Snuglet. Snuglet is a first of its kind wearable treatment for infant jaundice that uses flexible LED lighting and a simple wearable soft swaddle. And this is a design that came straight from the mouths of nurses and moms. We've designed a phototherapy in a way that gets baby out of the light box and into your arms where they belong by completely eliminating separation during treatment and focusing on maternal infant bonding and breastfeeding, while also lessening the time and efforts required by nursing staff. Snuglet also has the potential to decrease length of stay in the hospital due to jaundice. We've worked with over 40 hospitals through development, and we have a pipeline of customers awaiting our FDA clearance. And we're very excited about our launch, which will take place later this year. I look forward to speaking with you more in detail in the pitch. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. Let's definitely get those babies out of that box. All right, moving on. We have Tympanogen, Elaine.
Hi, I'm Elaine Hornrani, co-founder and CEO of Tympanogen, a medical device company based in Richmond, Virginia. We offer ear, nose, and throat surgeons efficiency in their practice alongside exceptional care. Our first product, the Perfix Otologic Gel Patch, replaces a 2-hour eardrum repair surgery with a 10-minute clinic visit. Ear infection is a common pediatric issue, and the ear tubes for draining infection can lead to chronic perforations of the eardrum that never heal. Current practice involves a costly invasive surgery that puts pediatric patients at risk for complications from the surgery and general anesthesia. Since eardrum repair is inevitable for these patients, Perfix creates efficiency for patients, providers, and payers by decreasing procedure time, decreasing procedure cost, and increasing patient volume in ENT clinics. The Perfix application procedure fits seamlessly into the ENT surgeon's existing clinic workflow, replacing surgery with a faster, safer procedure with high success rates. We can eliminate all the pain points of eardrum repair with our superior solution that aligns with value-based healthcare models and our mission to improve healthcare efficiency.
Excellent. Boy, would it be great to eliminate those ear tubes? That would be amazing. I hope this works. Excellent. Thanks for being here and for working on this. All right, let's move on then to Xpan. Saeed.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to present here today. My name is Zaid Atta. I'm a biomedical engineer and founder and CEO of Xpan. Our objective is to make minimal invasive surgery less invasive for children and for everybody. You all know someone who has had a minimal invasive surgery. What you probably don't know is that surgeons will use, will stab a bunch of devices that are thicker than a large screwdriver into the abdomen to create paths for their instruments. And pediatric surgeons face a particular dilemma. They can either use small trocars, which reduce injury and scar size of their patients, or use big trocars so they can use more efficient tools. They unfortunately end up using larger trocars most of the time. At Xpan, we're removing this dilemma completely by creating a trocar technology that goes inside the body at the smallest possible size, and yet it can be expanded in the tissue to the largest possible size. This reduces the risk of injury during insertion in the body and creates a very safe and efficient approach for using larger tools when surgeons need them. Studies have shown that expansion reduces wound size by half, reduces complications, pain, and healing time. We validated our technology with many pediatric surgeons who are really excited to use our product when it launches later this year. And we hope that you can support us in our mission for perfecting surgical access. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks, Zaid. It's a technology we've been looking at for a while at Xpan, and really happy to have you here today. So great to have you here. All right, let's see if I know John's back from Propeller. If we can rewind, and John, you want to give us the story on Propeller?
Sure. Can everybody hear me now?
We sure can.
All right, excellent. Sorry about that. When preterm infants stop breathing for 20 seconds or more, caffeine is prescribed more than any other treatment. And even after caffeine, 76% of newborns continue to experience apnea, triggering alarms in the NICU, causing a rush to wake them up to get them breathing again. Propeller is introducing a unique vibrating incubator pad that reduces apnea without interrupting sleep. I'm John Constant, and I asked Dr. David Petafar, Chair of Neurology at the Dell Medical School, and Jim Nemi from Harvard's Wyss Institute, the pioneers behind our amazing technology, to join me in creating Propeller. With a combined 120 years experience across our entire team, we know how to commercialize medical products. And with your support, we'll introduce the first improvement in the treatment of preterm apnea in over 20 years. We are Propeller. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Great to have you here. Definitely want to do that versus giving babies caffeine. All right, so that's our 15 companies. As I mentioned before, we're going to be doing breakouts. So I want to just thank the YouTube audience who's been watching this on streaming. You will not be able to join us in the breakout rooms. So for all of you who've been watching this on YouTube, thanks for being here. If you want to follow up with those companies, if you go to our website at medtechinnovator.org, there's a big banner at the top of the page. It will have a link to each of these companies' websites if they have a website. So you'll be able to reach out